right, good morning and welcome back. Today, the only difference is when we are solving these problems with SOHCAHTOA, we will no longer have our triangle already drawn for us. We will have to interpret the words to draw a triangle and then solve using SOHCAHTOA. So the good news is, since we're using SOHCAHTOA, we know right from the start, hopefully, what shape it is. We should know it's a triangle, and more specifically, it's going to be a right triangle. So we can always start, just draw a right triangle of some kind. Okay, we don't know exactly how it looks, but we know it's a right triangle. So I put my right angle in. Now, it says, we need to read carefully. It says a slide is 2.5 meters long. If we think about it, a slide, we know the slide does not mean straight up and down, right? That would be not a very fun slide. You just fall and thump into the ground. Slide is not flat, or you wouldn't move. A slide goes at an angle. So this is our slide. Okay, so I can put 2.5 meters. Now, it makes an angle with the ground. If we think about it, the ground is right here. So the angle with the ground from the slide would be right there. That's 27 degrees. And it says, how high is the top of the slide above the ground? Okay, so we're going to put an X over here. Height means up and down. And now we need to label our sides. The X would be our O. This slide is our hypotenuse. O and H, we're going to use sine. So sine of 27, all that over 1, equals x over 2.5. We will cross multiply. Remember, when you're using the calculator, you have to make sure you're in degree mode. Okay, I am in degree mode, but if you're using this, go to mode, change it into degree mode, or you can use desmos.com/scientific. So the sine of 27, close it, times 2.5, and we get 1.1 meters. All right, on to the next one. On this next one, we don't know, once again, what exactly it looks like, but we know it's a right triangle. So we draw our triangle, and the flagpole is 85 feet tall. That's going to be straight up and down. The shadow of the sun is 55 feet. That'll be on the ground. That's where the shadow exists. To the nearest degree, what is the angle of elevation? If we think about it, angle of elevation means above horizontal. So here's the horizontal. It is above that right here. This is our angle of elevation. So we are trying to find what that is. Now, to do this, once again, label our sides. So that's O. Oops, I don't know how that happened. That's O. That's A. O and A, we're going to use tangent. So tangent of, we don't know, X equals O over A. So 85 over 55. Remember, when we take this, we have to take the inverse tan. That's how we'll get rid of that. It's the inverse tan of that 85 divided by 55. And that will tell us what X equals. Now it says to the nearest degree. So we'll do second tan of 85 divided by 55. Close it, hit enter, and we will get 57 degrees as our answer. All right. The next one, surveyor wants to find the height of a tower. So here's our tower we're trying to find the height of. And it says they stand 55 feet away. And we know that the angle of elevation, 51 degrees. So once again, we label them. This is O. This is A. It's going to be tangent. Tangent of 51 degrees divided by 1 equals X over 55. We cross multiply. We'll find what X is. Once again, 55 times that tangent of 51. And we find 67.9 feet if we label that. So 67.9 feet. All right, I'm going to do 2 more and then I'm going to call it a day. But number 4 here says, 2 observers simultaneously observe an airplane overhead between them. They measure their angle of elevation to the airplane and obtain 42 degrees and 65 degrees. So those are already set up right here. It says the plane is 2.1 miles directly above the point shown in the figure. So right here, this is going to be 2.1. And that is how tall that it will be. And we know then says we're trying to find x and y. What are the distances of x and y? So you can either solve it from this, or you can draw your own triangle if you prefer and separate it. But we know this is 2.1 miles. We know we're trying to solve for x, 42 degrees right here. And then we could split it up and have two triangles. Some of you will find this helpful. Some of you might find this step unnecessary. It is your choice. And this will be 65. Now, either way you do it, you'll get the same situation here. We know that 2.1 will be O and the X will be A. 2.1 here is O, the Y is A. And don't forget, I forgot to put the right angles in. We know that those are both right angles because it is directly above. Okay. So either way, we have an O and an A. We're going to use tangent to solve. So this first one, tangent of 42 all over 1 equals TOA, 2.1 over x. For the second one, it'll be tangent of 65 all over 1 equals 2.1 over y. Everything's exactly the same except 42 and 65. Now remember, when x is on the bottom, you can cross multiply. If you do that, you will end up dividing by the tangent of 42. So we have 2.1 divided by the tangent of 42. That'll tell us our first one. So x is 2.33 miles. Notice in the directions it said to round to the nearest hundredth of a mile. That's 2 decimal places. And then to find y, we will be very similar in our setup, except now we will do 2.1 divided by the tangent of 65. Okay? And we will round that to get 0.98. Now the last one I want to talk about here before we go is this number 5, because of this angle of depression. So first off, let's set up our triangle. And we know that 41 foot tall lighthouse, so 41 feet. It's kind of sloppy, but it says 41. Okay, and we're trying to find out how far the ship is from shore. It says an angle of depression of 12 degrees. Lots of you might instantly assume that 12 degrees goes right here, but angle of depression means below. We push down, so below horizontal. If you ever go to the doctor and they have a tongue depressor, they push your tongue down, right? And you go, ah, okay, that's the idea. So if we think about it, this line up top is parallel. That is horizontal. Below that, 12 degrees goes right here. Now think back. I'll draw an example here. Last semester, if we had parallel lines cut by a transversal, if we had that 12 degrees right here, and we're trying to figure out how that compares to that angle. Those angles are alternate interior angles. They are going to be congruent, okay, which means down here I can put my 12 degrees. At this point, I know 41 is O, X is A. I'm going to solve using tangent. So the tangent of 12 divided by 1 equals O over A. So 41 over X. We will divide in this case. So we will do 41 divided by the tangent of 12. Close the parenthesis, hit enter. And we will get X equals 192.9 feet. And we're done. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I hope to see you soon. Hopefully you guys can have some success. Give the Delta Math a try and let me know if you need help.